Ladies and gentlemen, what the heck do we have here? It looks like all the conspiracy theories you heard a while back about COVID-19 originated from a lab turns out to be true. Even we are admitting it. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we're saying it most likely originated from a lab and why we're not admitting it fully that it originated from a lab is because we don't want to admit to our mistakes. We also want the public to still trust us. We still want the public to know that we are there for them and that we will handle every event that comes to their way. All that we ask is that the public may trust us.
Let's take a look at CNN's take on this. Assessment COVID-19 leaked from Chinese lab is a minority view within US intel community. Of course, there's going to be the minority view within the US intel community. Why? Because the US intel community, their premise this past years was not that it leaked from a Chinese lab, but that it originated from bats. So of course, the US intel community is going to hold on to the theory, at least the majority of them, that it originated from bats, because for the past years, the whole US intel community believed that pretty much. Therefore, it's going to take time for them to go ahead and shift from one belief to another belief. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? As a matter of fact, anybody who dared question that view was labeled as conspiracy theories and was labeled as a dangerous person who spreads misinformation. And then look at us now, 3 years later, right? When all the when all the damage has been done, it's like they're basically saying, all right, guys, maybe it turns out true that those conspiracy theories had about the Chinese lab, maybe it was true, but I mean, everything is already said and done, right? It's ridiculous. There's a story that's been making headlines about a student knocking out a teacher after she took away his Nintendo Switch. I'm not going to show the video because YouTube is then going to age restrict my video, just like they have been age restricting my past videos that I've uploaded. But basically on the video, you can see the person in the middle here on the picture knock out the person on the right and then start beating them on the floor. So that's making headlines. But what's making even more headlines is that there's this mental health advocate that comes out and says the person that did this shouldn't face any repercussions because he suffers mental illness, supposedly. And a lot of people are mad because of that. They're saying that regardless of whether you are mentally ill, that you should still face the consequences. And I just wanted to have my take on this, guys, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, we live in a day and age where mental illness, for some reason, is increasingly prevalent on society. And it's very interesting because the more you see society become more wicked, right? The more you see everybody doing what's good in their own eyes, the more you live in a culture, in a postmodern culture that tells you everybody has their own truth. There's no such thing as an objective good or evil. Right? As everybody adopts this, mental illness seems to be climbing to the rooftops, right? And I believe the reason is because since everybody has adopted this idea that, well, just do what you want to do, right? Just be you. Nobody has a objective understanding of what harms a person, what doesn't harm a person. Therefore, everybody's just doing whatever the hell they want. And I think that really correlates one way or another with mental illness rising in unprecedented rates. But look, let me show you here the video.
Put your hands behind your back.
This is the moment cops took the 6'6", 17-year-old into custody.
Am I going to jail?
Yes, you are.
For how long?
I do not know.
I don't want to go to jail.
That child has mental health issues. He is just that, a child. That teacher should have never, paraprofessional, should have never been left alone in a situation where she could have been attacked.
Isn't it very interesting, guys, how like this idea that if you have mental health issues, you're incapable and inefficient and unable to do that which is right, but somehow you are very capable, guys, very capable, very competent to do that which is evil. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, my whole point is this: in a society where mental illness runs very pervasive, you need to be very careful with this idea that, well, just because you have mental illness or you claim to have mental illness, we're going to go ahead and exonerate you from the crimes that you have committed. Because, well, at the end of the day, they were outside your control. Let me show you one more. This is basically another video that's making a lot of headlines about Katy Perry breaking down in outrage after a school shooting story. Check this out.
What you doing, Katie?
Our country has failed us.
Facts.
This is not okay. You should be singing here because you love music.
It's true.
Not because you had to
I agree.
You didn't have to lose 8 friends. I hope that you remind people that we have to change. Because you know what? I'm scared too.
It's terrible, Katie. It's horrible.
People want to demand gun control, but that is not the solution. How about instead of demanding gun control, you demand people to just be more moral, to be more righteous? Because let me tell you something. People who are unrighteous cannot have freedom, because that freedom, they will use it to commit unrighteous acts. Oh, but that's not what this celebrities, that's not what this politicians, that's not what big tech wants you to know, right? Oh no, big tech wants you to stay unrighteous so that all your solutions are solved by the state, and the state in turn gets more power. And that's why they want to come for your guns, for your rifles especially. You know why they want to come for the rifles and not for the little, let's say, handguns, which eventually, once they take the rifles, they will come for the handguns. But they want to go ahead and take the rifles first, because they know that a rifle can compete with another rifle, with infantry soldiers. While if you have a little handgun, it cannot compete against a full-out, decked-out assault rifle. You might be saying, well, I don't think that's ever going to happen here in the United States. Really? You don't think that's never going to happen here in the United States? Just look at what they did to you through COVID-19. All the rights they took away from you through COVID-19. That's why you had your rifles. Now imagine what they will do if they take away your guns. Everybody wants to live in this nation where everybody is acceptant of everything that's unrighteous. But once you tell somebody to be careful, to be more moral, they start blaming you right away with things such as, oh my gosh, you don't support my human right to do this, you don't support my human right to do that. No, I'm just saying you need to be more righteous, because the more unrighteous you are, the more you're going to demand, the more you're going to create problems, and the more the government is going to have to step in to solve those problems. And one of the ways the government steps in to solve those problems is to take your freedoms away. That is why the Bible says, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is righteousness. And where there is righteousness, there is freedom. Freedom is adorned by righteousness. But when you have an unrighteous people who don't have the Spirit of the Lord, who do whatever is right in their own eyes, they cannot have any freedom. And people love their slavery more than freedom, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you that. People rather have legislations be imposed upon them. People rather have their rights taken away than to turn from their wicked ways. But alright, keep going down this path. Let's see how far it takes you in the near future. Mainstream media didn't tell you that in the 50s and 60s, high school students had their rifles on their vehicles. And you didn't see any mass shootings take place, right? No. Nowadays, it's very interesting because mass shootings started taking place when the moral decadency of the nation started to take place. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to tell you this, so that, you could unwire your brain from the programming of mainstream media and the modern university curriculum, and so that maybe, just maybe, ladies and gentlemen, right? Just maybe you can actually see something different. Anyways, I'll see you all until next time. Explosive out!